Okay, here we are. Welcome back to the Fun Time Show. Was that disturbing enough for everyone?
Different enough.
Stop that. Okay, this is Gain the Lead Chats, also known as GtL.
Just short, abbreviated.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway,
No one cares.
I know. So, this is Caleb.
I'm Paul.
And you may call me Ultron.
Okay.
We don't really know who he is.
Yeah.
He's just some guy we picked up at the theater.
Yeah. And then we can't forget Jacob.
Who's
Here.
Hello! I am finally here.
he's been haunting the show ever since it started, and now he's finally revealing.
Manifested himself into existence.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or so he says.
Yeah.
I think it's full of bull.
You would. So
Full of bowl? What?
Yeah, full of bull.
So, we have just come back from seeing Avengers, Age of Ultron.
Yep.
So that's why we're a little pumped.
Yeah.
Little.
I thought we were tired.
Yeah.
Well, there's that too.
I feel more tired.
Well, that's because you two have been suckered into working for a living.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay, just seen Avengers Age of Ultron, and so now we're going to go over, our reaction, quick thoughts.
Just get on with it.
Yeah.
There are some people who don't know the drill.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, they should learn it.
if you haven't seen the movie, can we recommend seeing it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, if you're a Marvel fan, you need to see this film.
And what do you have to say about that?
I like DC.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we've heard from DC that he
Yeah.
likes DC.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've been warned. We will be probably giving things away. If you haven't seen it, that's your problem.
Yeah.
Okay, so the title. Okay, we'll
Yeah.
skip the title.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we'll start with you, Paul.
Okay.
So,
Likes. Man. Of course, given that it's an action film, I did love the amount of action, and I really do like how they were able to just throw in lots of little bits of comedy moments, throughout the movie. I mean, they were really just small little sprinkles throughout.
Right.
Having comedy and just
Yeah.
sprinkling in there and breaking the moment.
Yeah, because when you really got to it, a lot of what they were dealing with was down at the core of it, kind of dark almost, and so they managed to have some of that dark, aspects of what was going on there, and then they brought up the tone of it with that comedy. Initially, I didn't know what to think about with the comedy at first, but I was like, this is a Marvel movie, it's supposed to be fun, so it's like, okay. Plus in my favor, or that's a plus in my book that you got this comedy, it's a fun movie, for the whole family. So they hit it right there, and I did like a lot of the action sequences. So just initially, first reactions, there we go.
okay, you like the comedy. Anything else that you want to single out at right here, right now?
I don't want to take too much time, so I'll hold off on anything, or I'll work on wording it better in my head.
Okay,
So
so let's hear from the.
we can't take him seriously.
We can't
take him seriously.
Let's
Mr. Hood.
Yeah.
let's hear from the Red Hood over here. So
My,
okay,
yeah, we're getting somewhere now.
now we're getting it.
Well, yeah. I like the comedy and the action sequences as well. You know, it really breaks the monotony and can just make a unbearable movie watchable. I don't mean that by this movie.
Yeah, like a
but-
Marvel.
yeah.
It makes a Marvel movie bearable.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You know, Guardians.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, if there was no comedy there, that thing is unwatchable. You know, I mean, throw that sucker into the trash can right now. You suck all that comedy out, and there's absolutely nothing there.
For viewers who have not watched Guardians of the Galaxy, Guardians is probably 95% comedy.
Yes.
The other 5% is, filler.
Yeah.
He might actually have
it's-
something
it's-
there then, doesn't he?
Yes. The other 5% is CGI.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's true. Okay,
Anyway, back to Ultron.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it was well put together. You know, nice beginning sequence. You know, very I want to say James Bond. You know, just throw us into something, and then have us catch up. I think I kind of like the Hulk Black Widow thing was done mature, but I can't say much about that.
Well, we did give spoiler warning, so you can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
Well, it's I'm not good with words, so
Okay.
Was it that you liked the way that it was handled?
yeah, not forcing it.
Mm-hmm.
Although people will probably call it a little forced, just knowing the characters from comics and other places. But, it's very well done in this movie, I definitely liked Ultron. It's like, this machine, he has a lot of comedy in him.
Oh, yes. I mean, he was delivering
Well,
half the comedy lines, it seems like.
Joss Whedon said that Ultron was going to be... The joy of Ultron was going to be that he was going to be unlike any robot you've ever seen in a movie. He's going to make him do everything a robot never does.
Wait. He was a robot?
Yes, he was.
He sure didn't seem like.
No.
Okay, and from our mystery guest, what do you have to say?
Well, I liked it. It's what all trilogy movies is. Since we know this is going to be a trilogy, there's a lot. It is a good movie. I'm not going to down it or anything. I did have a little problem with the Black Widow and Hulk thing. Just character, it being Black Widow and it being Bruce Banner. I'm gonna go with it because it's its own universe, and they're not gonna give us a Hulk movie or anything, so
Yeah.
can't go
Anytime
into
soon.
his own universe. So we kind of gotta go with it. It's kind of setting up everything that's gonna follow. It being the sequel and in between.
Yeah.
It's got that feel to it by the end. And yes, the comedy in it was just,
We just can't stop talking about it.
well, the action was just a part of it. It was a free-flowing entity. It just kept going and moving, and that was the other thing. They really delve into the characters in this film. You really following these characters through this journey, through this movie, in a way that you don't really see that had in other movies. The other thing is, very interesting way they handled the Vision. We didn't really talk about how they were going to bring him into the fold and how it would be Jarvis and it being, Paul
Bettany,
and how they figure out how to bring, it being Paul Bettany, the voice of Jarvis, and, it's handled very well. It was the Vision on screen, I gotta say. Very poetic. And,
So, well, I'm glad you can say that, because I'm ignorant on that.
I have absolutely no knowledge about Vision, about Quicksilver, about Scarlet Witch, the B team. I have no awareness of them whatsoever.
Really? Oh, the ball's in my court, finally. The picking up of the hammer. That is straight from the comics. Vision was able to do that. That is straight from the comics. That is canon, that he can.
Because he's a robot.
He's a robot.
We've established that.
Okay.
He's worthy because he's not actually a person.
Okay.
Because, I know there's one thing about Avengers. Whenever there's a fight, Vision is the casualty.
You know why? Because he can come back.
Because they can just rebuild him. They just rebuild him.
He's a robot. He'll come back.
Yeah, they just put him back together again when it's all
I'm not
over.
sure how they can do that the way they did it in this film. The way they brought him to life. I don't think that's really possible. But we don't know. That's kind of up in the air, the way they brought him to life. Was anybody else surprised by that?
What?
By what Vision did?
Yeah.
I was just happy that it wasn't Black Widow.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
If they'd done that, I would have been a little upset.
Yeah.
I mean, it did catch me off guard at first. It was like, I was probably
Yeah,
just as shocked
it
as...
catches off guard because we had the previous scene where everyone tested.
Yeah.
Who enjoyed that moment, actually?
I'm sorry, but I will go to my grave saying that Captain America is worthy of that hammer. And the comics agree with me, so.
That was a great moment when it moved an inch.
Yes, it moved.
Yeah.
And you saw
Thor's reaction was
like...
was priceless.
Yes, the reaction of Thor made that... oh my.
Yeah. I liked how he's like, after everybody's like, they're like, oh, it didn't work. And he's like, yeah, it didn't work.
Yeah. The direction they went with Hawkeye was very interesting.
We come to the house and I knew something... This was going to be Hawkeye's hideout and everything. I knew that.
Well, when he said safe house, I immediately thought Nick Fury.
That's true. He's got one... He's got about 500 on each continent. Comes to the teaser at the end, that really...
So should we take this to mean that the gloves are finally off?
No, the gloves
As
on.
far as the villain is concerned.
Yeah.
Hey, we're toying with them here.
Yeah.
He's finally coming off the bench.
Getting out of that dumb chair.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. One of the things is just sitting here, you're all going on about the comedy, and as you sit and think about it, it's kind of interesting because from the trailers and kind of the way second movies usually go, we expect this movie to go dark.
Yeah.
I mean, dark, but it really didn't.
No, it didn't.
This wasn't nearly as dark as Empire Strikes Back or The Dark Knight or even Back to the Future 2. I mean, this movie was not dark in... Really not dark in any real significant way.
Despite them facing extinction level events, essentially.
Yeah, but they faced that in the first Avengers.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they face that in Thor: The Dark World. So I mean,
They face that
extinction
in
level.
every movie,
Yeah.
essentially.
So yeah, the stakes are always the same.
Yeah.
Because this is an Avengers movie, and if those stakes aren't that high, then what's the point?
Yeah, why are they there? Why
Yeah.
are they all together? Yeah.
Because it's all these guys. If they're just taking on just some thugs, that's not really particularly interesting.
If they're just facing the wrecking crew, it's not gonna.
Yeah.
It's not as dynamic,
Right. Even Ultron as a villain wasn't really as dark a villain as you would expect.
Yeah, I was expecting him to be a little bit darker.
Oh, yeah.
But he really wasn't. I mean, he kind of presented a compelling character.
Oh,
he
yeah.
really did. I mean,
You know, to the point where you wanted to like him a lot.
It makes you think who's right, who's wrong on this situation.
well, I felt that was more
Yeah.
on the Tony Stark side of things.
Yes.
The movie didn't really end the way you would have expected, because yeah, the Avengers are kind of broken up now.
Mm-hmm.
Thor is going back to Asgard. He goes back to Asgard. Hulk is back on the
He's
run. He's going
off the radar.
He's off grid. He's going.
Yeah,
he's going back off grid. And Tony walks away too, which is kind of interesting. And so it's Captain America left to carry on.
Mm-hmm.
So that leaves us in a very interesting place for Civil War, because that's going to be both Stark and Rogers, Captain America. They're going to be in there, and we've assumed that they're going to adapt the Marvel Civil War storyline, which pits them against each other. But it doesn't leave you on a note where they're at odds.
Yeah,
it doesn't leave you in that place where we expected it to.
Well, yeah.
It does not have an Empire Strikes Back ending. That, and the plus of it is that it is a solid standalone movie.
Yes.
Yes.
That it doesn't leave you feeling like you're going to have to wait 3 years for the ending in the next movie. This movie had a big job.
Mm.
It had a job that most second movies don't have, is that it has to juggle at least 10, 12 characters.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
And that was something I was always wondering, is like, how well are they going to be able to do that? Especially when you kept on hearing about, this character's going to be in it, this character's going to be in it. Even though it's like, I'd never heard of the Vision before. But apparently he's in this movie.
This movie, unlike many other sequels, had a lot of support under it because it's had like 10 movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So it has that foundation that a normal movie sequel does not have.
No.
And I'll name you the example right here. Vision. It was genius to cast Paul Bettany as Vision, because we already knew, we'd attached ourselves to that character in his performance as Jarvis.
Yeah.
So when he is reborn in the flesh, so to speak, as the Vision, we already are attached to him. We already know we can trust him. The twins are were stuck in your normal situation where they had to be introduced, established, and had to have an arc.
Yeah. All within the movie.
Although I would have been very interested in knowing, what did Scarlet Witch do to Banner?
Yeah.
When she ticked him off.
What did
he
she see?
Yeah, what set him off?
Yeah.
That would have been interesting. Perfect segue here. The Hulk Buster fight.
It was a cop out at the end. We all know who would have won.
You just know if they ever run into each other again, he's Tony's totally gonna hold that over him.
But it was still good. All the tools and tricks Tony used.
And he, and he knew what he was up against. Yeah. He was just trying to contain him.
Yeah. It wasn't even about fighting him. It was about getting him out of there.
Please.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was very. He's like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Just stay down.
So I'm doing this for your good as well as that of everybody else.
Mm-hmm. I have a few complaints.
Oh, here we go.
Well, some of these are just nitpicks.
Oh yeah,
little things that bother me. I'm still bothered by the fact that none of our heroes' girlfriends were involved in the movie. I like that. I like that scene where they're bragging on their girlfriends.
Yeah.
That was really neat.
Yeah. She's head of this.
Not involving them is a bit of an issue to me, especially with Thor.
Oh yeah.
The fact that we don't nearly see enough of those two together is a big problem for me. And another thing here, and I realize this would have and I'm going to complain to the end of time that we still haven't seen Betsy or Betty Ross.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Hulk's true love. I'm sorry. Okay, the Hulk Black Widow thing was really interesting. It was interesting the way they did that. And the way it was done, it made sense in the context of the story.
Yeah.
More complaints.
Did you take these down while you were watching this?
Yes,
I did not see your notepad there.
It's invisible.
Oh my gosh, one of the new ones.
I'm not sure if the movie really took us anywhere else. Really took us, anywhere that Avengers didn't. I mean, Avengers were fighting an army of, drones trying to save a city.
Yeah.
And the world at the same time.
Yeah.
Not really anything different here.
No, and that was something I picked out from trailers and commercials and drones, and they're fighting in a city. It's like it had a lot of the same,
Elements.
visually, visual elements and stuff like that.
That's what you're gonna have in any case anyway, because it repeats itself in the comics anyway. If they're not fighting an army of drones, they're fighting an army of mutants. They're not fighting an army of mutants. They're fighting an army of
again,
whatever.
you have this team of the most powerful beings on Earth. Only an army is worthy, really.
Mm-hmm.
And let's be fair, almost everybody got their... one of the things that was interesting about Avengers was everybody got a shot at Loki. Everybody got to take a shot at Loki. Yeah. And pretty much everybody got their shot at Ultron.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Although, again, that may have been one of the weaknesses of the movie is, I'm not sure... Did you ever really feel like, oh no, Ultron's about to kill him? I mean, anybody.
Or, oh no, Ultron is actually going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not really.
Not really. No.
I mean, but we know there's going to be 10 more movies, so that doesn't help.
Yeah.
Also, again, not setting up for Civil War.
I know.
Wouldn't it have been better if they had lost? Maybe engineer a scenario where they didn't fully win, where there was some deep, serious casualties.
Well, yeah, that's what it seemed to be setting up.
Yeah, I mean, it's that's what had me worried. That
I'm like,
that's what's going to happen.
judgment call time, and neither one of them is good.
No. We kind of got cheated out of that a little bit.
Well, no. It's called the Nick Fury factor.
I thought that was the Samuel L. Jackson factor.
In this case, it's Nick Fury.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, because if you had that loss, then it'd be more of the typical second movie in the trilogy.
So far, in none of these superhero movies, they've never lost. They've never failed.
But then again, it's always those situations because it's a movie, and and the situations they are in those movies. This is a win or lose factor. If they lose, I don't think there's no coming back from
the loss. There's no coming back.
It's either we win or we're all dead.
Our DC guy is just, all this Marvel talk is just draining him.
It's sickening to him.
Yeah.
You can barely stand it.
It's terrible.
It's very late.
I thought the way they did Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch was very good.
Yeah.
They got those...
the very brother-sister dynamic, and the fact that they're twins, so they're really... Quicksilver's reminding Scarlet Witch, I was like, I'm 12 minutes older. I was like,
Yeah.
I am 12 minutes older than you, despite the fact that we're twins.
But in all twin aspect, they always hold that against.
Oh
them.
yeah, oh yeah.
I am older than you
yeah.
by 2 minutes.
And, I kind of liked how, if you know it, you couldn't help but appreciate what was going, the kind of subtle little thing that was going on between Scarlet Witch and the Vision. There was
For those who don't know,
it was there.
The Vision and Scarlet Witch, have a thing. Yeah, I did notice that.
I think I even picked up on that.
Oh wow,
bit,
you picked it up. Sweet.
So whether I was fully going there, but I was like, I picked up a little something there between.
Like I said, I liked the way the character arcs flowed, and I think I think everything was done right. But I still would have been. I would have liked to have more.
Yeah, this is a 2 hour,
but
2.5
there's only
hour
so
movie.
much time.
Yeah.
There's only so much, and they got too many characters.
Yeah, so
they had too many
got
characters.
To keep the focus and get as much of it is in there without being overcrowded, and which this did brilliantly.
Oh yeah.
I mean, but it shows you just this is going to be why the next one, Avengers Infinity War, is going to be in 2 parts.
Because it has to be.
Because, it's not just going to be the Avengers. It's going to be the new Avengers we've been introduced to. It's going to be whoever gets introduced in between. And it's going to be Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. So that cast is going to be insane.
All roads lead to Infinity Wars.
Yeah. It's like, I had a hard time imagining them doing a good job balancing all the character... the entire ensemble in this movie. Imagine further down the road. So were there many more nitpicking that you had?
There's way too much CG. That's gonna be that's a constant theme with me. There's too much CG.
Hey, I like the fact that the Vision wasn't.
For the most part.
For the most part, he was not CG.
Yeah.
I mean, that just always that takes me out of the action scene, because I know that what I'm seeing isn't. It's now an animated film, and there are, all the best action scenes in this movie are animated.
Yeah.
It's an animated film during the best action scenes, and that's a real, to me, contradiction.
For an action film.
It's a kind of, I mean, I don't mind animated action, But that's not what we're here for.
Yeah.
We're not here to watch an animated film. We're here to watch a live action film.
Yeah.
Now, superheroes.
There's a lot there that
Maybe-
you really can't
Maybe
do
this.
with.
Yeah. Maybe that's the truth. That maybe but it's. It kind of annoys me a little.
Like the next generations are going to be all in favor of it, all okay with it because they've grown up with it. That's all that they're used to. So we're the tail end of,
Practical effects.
Yes, yeah.
Well, I'm hoping that that Star Wars reverses this trend.
Yeah.
Because they used a lot of practical effects, and you can see in the trailer
Yeah.
there's a lot of practical in there. This new Star Wars will be proof that you can still use practical. Mixing practical and CG is still the best way to do it.
Yeah. I mean, aside from a few moments where you have, the various heroes communicating with each other, where it's the camera's focused on the actor and the character, pretty much the whole rest of those sequences CGI. Captain America's trying to distract Ultron when they're trying to get the case.
Yeah.
And he's leaping off of a car that's already crashing, or crashed, is done crashing, and propels himself up onto up on top of that bus. That was one particular moment in most of the fight scenes that really stuck out to me. Is like, I'm not sure about that one move there. That was one in fight sequences. I was uncertain about that move.
The tractor trailer was CG. Ultron was CG. The background was CG. And even Chris Evans in that scene is pretty much CG.
Yeah.
I mean, there are shots with him in there,
Yes.
but it's an animated sequence.
Yeah.
Is that really a reason to dislike the movie?
No.
It's not.
No.
It's the movie is what it
that's
is.
a nitpicking thing, and nitpicking is not.
And pretty much everything I've been picking
Yeah,
at
yeah,
is
yeah.
nitpicking.
I've been trying to think of
You are
ways.
grasping at straws.
I am very desperate here,
Yeah,
aren't
it's like,
I?
I can't find anything wrong with this movie right now.
I don't like his haircut in this scene. It is offending. It offends me. I don't like it.
But Ultron doesn't have hair.
He didn't even have a mustache. I mean, he's a villain without a mustache. They gave him a very expressive face, but he missed the most important thing.
Ultron with a very sinister mustache for him to another mannerism there. There we go.
But again, one of the problems with Ultron is he never really did anything evil. But movie 101 is your villain has to do something evil.
Trying to wipe out humanity with a giant asteroid that you don't consider that evil ultimately.
Well, not really, because he gets stopped. He has to actually do
something evil?
Yeah. You have to push an old lady down the stairs.
You gotta kick somebody's dog.
Yeah, you have to do something that makes the audience hate you.
They can't kick a dog because then
The Animal Rights Act.
Yes,
And-
didn't you see the little notice at the end of the credits? No animals were harmed in the making. That dog got safely on the barge.
That's right.
See, I mean, but that, again, Empire Strikes Back, that was the whole reason why they had in that movie Vader killing all of his officers. That was a problem they ran into in filming. They realized, Vader doesn't really do anything in this movie. He really doesn't do anything until the third act. He doesn't do anything evil. We got to remind the audience that he's the villain.
Yeah.
So we got to have him kill somebody.
All right, so quick brainstorm. What could have Ultron done to fill in that gap?
Killed kittens.
No, not the
He
kittens.
lasered
Not in
kittens.
front of Bubba.
Just laser beam kittens. I mean, they kind of tried to do that when he sliced off Andy Serkis's arm.
The thing when he did that, he shrugged it in such a way that it was like, I'm sorry, but that's so funny.
I think Ultron was a much better villain than Loki.
Yes. Yeah.
I think he was a much more imposing force than Loki was.
Got his butt kicked a lot.
Yeah, I mean, Loki was a punching bag in that movie. That's all he was.
With good looks.
Yes. Why don't we get some closing thoughts? Because
we're
just nitpicking right now.
Yeah.
Well, you're doing most of the nitpicking.
Yeah, you started that about a half hour ago, and look at where we are now.
Yeah. Would you actually come up with a reason to dislike this movie? Do you have any final thoughts or anything to wrap up with?
It was a good movie. You should go watch it.
It was a good film. You enjoy yourself. Definitely enjoy yourself. It's not a waste of time. You'll enjoy it. You'll have fun, and you'll come out of it. Rethinking your life and all that.
Yeah. And it's like, I really should move to the country. Get a safe house.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
By the way, was anybody else thinking, "Oh, it's the farmhouse from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles"?
No, I thought it was.
Anybody from the '90s knows what I'm talking about.
Ultimately, reiterating that it's a great movie. I mean, for me, like, you go to see a movie to enjoy it, and this one I really enjoyed. I guess I can say I was surprised at the amount of comedy that they sprinkled throughout the entire film. I mean, it wasn't like they had a little bit of comedy here and a little bit of comedy here. It was really sprinkled through the film. I guess I'm just surprised at how different this one feels for the sequel.
Which, kind of hard for a movie to do that.
Impressed with the way that they were able to balance the entire ensemble of characters and make everything work. Though I'm not sure how well I liked the whole Black Widow Hulk thing. It was there. I'm glad they didn't go too much farther than what they did with it, so I'll leave it with what it is. But it's like I was very uncertain about that.
Well, sum up, I guess I should be the one guy who tells you not to go see this movie.
Since DC already told us to go see it.
Yeah, he's already betrayed everything he stands for. So.
Yeah.
Okay, but no, it's if you liked Avengers, you'll like this movie.
Oh yeah.
Its biggest weakness to me is that it's Avengers. It's the same movie as the first one. That's its biggest weakness. Is that it doesn't really go in any new direction. It doesn't really add anything new either. Well, it kind of does. It develops characters.
Well, yeah,
I give it that. Yeah. It develops characters, even though it really doesn't do anything interesting plot-wise. I mean, the critics of Avengers say the weakness of the entire movie is its plot. Is that its plot is very thin. And I think this one, the plot is much stronger, is a little better developed, but it's still pretty much the same movie. So, if you didn't like Avengers, I don't know that you're going to like this movie.
Though maybe you would like this movie better than the first one?
That is possible. On a scale, I would actually say that this movie is better than the first Avengers. I think I would actually say that it is an improvement over the first Avengers. Winter Soldier is still the best Marvel movie, though. Well, that those are our thoughts. Please comment. Please disagree.
Comment, view,
Dis-
like us.
Disagree with us, please.
Yeah.
Agree or agree with us.
Give him something. Give him somebody to talk to besides.
We hope your thoughts are different than our thoughts, because that's the way it's supposed to be. Because if we all have the same thoughts,
Especially
it'd
on
be
the
weird.
internet.
It'd be really weird. So we thank you for wasting your time with us instead of the billions of other videos that are much better.
This was Mickey.
This is Jacob signing off.
So I'm Paul.
And this has been Caleb, and we thank you for listening to GtL Chats.